Well, this one's interesting because what happened this week was. Do you know anything about this guy? Were you aware of him when you were here?
Hold on. Let me get to this one. So this is the
The star lecturer, the history teacher.
yeah, so I've heard about it. I don't have like the complete details about it,
Yeah.
but
Well, this guy was huge. Like he guested on a show, on a variety show a few years ago, and he's a history teacher, and he taught in an academy and such. And based off that one appearance, like he just blew up in fame. Everybody
hmm
started going to that academy, and then he would be invited onto different programs. And he wrote like a couple books, history books that were really popular. So he got really, really popular. But then come to find out, he plagiarized or admitted plagiarizing some of his master's thesis,
yeah,
which
yep,
which is it's sad, but at the same time, like what is it? A month prior, another celebrity. Do you know Hong Jin Young? She's
no,
kind of a trot singer. If you saw her, you would know her. But she was accused of plagiarizing as well, and she had to stop appearing on shows and such because she was
yeah,
caught plagiarizing her master's thesis. No, her PhD.
hmm
And but it's I don't want to make any generalizations or stereotypes, but this isn't is not very surprising. I think you and I both know that plagiarism is definitely it's not seen as a totally negative thing. As far as like these celebrities having to not appear on TV shows, I think they are getting a lot of backlash, and plagiarism as is being seen more as a negative thing. But I know
hmm
when you and I were both here, plagiarism was sort of like one of those things where our students would do it all the time, not thinking there would be any repercussions.
yeah. I think well, I'll just get this out of the way. I think plagiarism is a definite no-no, especially in higher education.
Mm.
Like that just ruins your credibility. Um, but I don't want to be too judgmental about it. Kind of like what you were saying. I know that um, for a lot of students, being able to regurgitate information and regurgitate it like um, precisely is actually seen as a good quality. And so I understand that. Um, I guess from a cultural standpoint, but when you get into these higher level institutions, um, like where does it really stop?
Mm.
And I'm good for him if he came out and he came out and admitted it. But then like what's the next step? What does he do
Mm.
after that? Like if he admitted to plagiarizing, I'd be like, yeah, you're a schmuck, whatever. But if he came out and said, look, I did this, I think it's wrong, I think we need to change this, I would actually, say, well, good on you. So
Yeah.
um
Well, it's one of those things. Like I don't know of people who've plagiarized. Of course, they're not admitting it, but like you walk onto a university campus and you look around and like 100% that some of the professors or students or somebody has plagiarized something. Like it's one of those sort of not talked about things,
yeah,
the sort of
for
hush hush
sure.
things. Like they don't really look into it. Or it is
Well,
I should mention it is changing. Like there are new rules at where I'm teaching where they look down on plagiarism pretty hard compared to the past. So I should admit that it is changing.
yeah, I totally think it's changing. I think that the repercussion of it is still pretty far behind, just
Mm.
because face is such a huge thing in Asia, and I know of people who have not only plagiarized but um, forcefully made other people put their name onto research papers
Mm,
so that they could get credit for it when they didn't do anything. And even after those people are found out, they're not removed from those institutions. They're just put away into corners, and kind of ignored, but they're still receiving their full salaries, full benefits. Um, and then they never talk about them again, as to not bring shame to that institution or to that person, which I don't think that that's the best way.
yeah.
It, like with this guy, I respect this guy more for coming out and saying, "Hey, I did this."
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
So
applaud him. I know the singer too. She admitted it too, and I know they're probably going to get way more like negative comments and stuff. So I don't want to say anything bad about their character, but it's just one
yeah,
of those. It's just one of those things that comes up, and you look at it and you're just like, well, it's not a surprise, unfortunately.
yeah, it's not a surprise at all. And I know what happens in the U.S., but I know the repercussion of what happens after it's been found out is much different.
Yeah.